Kate Edwards walks into a bar and says to the bartender, "You know what? I'm sick of the usual. Give me something different." The bartender says, "Alright," serves up the same old tepid water, but this time in a rainbow cup, and it makes all the difference. Who would be against diversity? It's like saying, I don't want more stuff. But it seems like my understanding of the word, at least in the context of game development and design, is completely wrong. Diverse, an interview with Kate Edwards, written by Liam Esler and published on mcvpacific.com. The International Game Developers Association has a strong belief in diversity, and diversity could have no better advocate than the executive director of the IGDA, Kate Edwards. Kate is a regular speaker on issues of diversity, and thanks to her work in culturalization of content and strong understanding of many cultures, she brings a unique perspective that encompasses far more than traditional definitions of diversity. An example of this very modern version of diversity is her organization advocating the usage of blockbot tools that wipe out thousands and thousands of voices just because they have a perspective you might not want to hear. I think they've removed that endorsement alongside their accompanying libelous claims from their website, but I thought it was just worth bringing that up in case people had forgotten about it. I guess being diverse means you never ever apologize. Anyway, moving on from that, let's see what else diversity means to Kate. The interviewer asks, "What does diversity mean to you?" To me, diversity means the accounting for as many perspectives as possible during the creative process. Usually, the best way to do so is by having people of diverse groups providing input to a project and/or working together. At its core, diversity is an attitude as much as it's an issue of demographics. If people are open-minded and willing to be inclusive of diverse viewpoints, then that alone is a major step forward. If everyone involved in a project, regardless of their background, maintains such an attitude, then the act of inclusion will be more implicit and the end result of their collective work will be respectful to whomever it aims to represent. And what if my viewpoint is that creations needn't necessarily be considered to be representative of anyone? Or that, if they are, they needn't be respectful? And what about the idea that viewing people of certain backgrounds like that as if they are all one mass is disrespectful and denies individuality? That this attitude does not encourage a variety of views, but instead acts as a boundary within which the views you want must fall. Views and ideas that are either directly the ones you want, or that will allow the ones you want to spread. It sounds to me like this attitude of diversity might lock out a lot of diversity. I mean, I'd ask her about it, share some of my views with this open-minded person who just always wants more perspectives. But, yeah. So that's what it means for developers. What does it mean for me and you, the people playing games, gamers? Is it going to mean we're going to get new groundbreaking stuff just because these people of different cultures clash together, they have their thoughts stimulated, they come up with new story ideas, new mechanics even, just from having their ideas challenged? What do we get? The interviewer asks, "Why is diversity important?" Kate responds, "While the game industry has so many amazingly talented individuals, the process of game creation primarily remains a collective group effort. As such, our games are made stronger, more relevant, and more viable on a global scale when we're able to proactively consider how players of various cultural, geographic, and social backgrounds may respond to our games. Staying true to our core creative vision is important, and as an art form, games are able to carry any kind of perspective we desire. But if we're producing content for the broadest kind of popular appeal, then the consideration of diversity is a cornerstone of making games that entertain without disengaging the player on the basis of something potentially offensive or problematic. Great, we're not just going to get games that cater to the lowest common denominator among white men. Diversity means games that cater to the world's lowest common denominator. That is much better. That is how you make art. You need to make something that sort of sticks to your idea, but then neuter it. Make sure it could not possibly offend or upset anyone or challenge any of their beliefs. White cis males have had this privilege for too long. Everyone needs to have the video game equivalent of Grawl, because diversity isn't about getting more ideas or new ideas. It's about including more sets of eyes, so you can get rid of more of the ideas that shouldn't be there. This makes diversity sound fucking horrific. I want games to offend or upset me. If you are not interested in artistic expression and just want something that will sell, why bother with a creative vision in the first place? If that's your main motivation, try to catch a trend and make it inoffensive to anyone. But I'd say at that point, you are not making art. There is artistry involved, but it is just a stone-cold product. A watered-down, neutered creative vision for a game is to a game that is art, as wallpaper is to a painting. Nothing wrong with that, and I guess as people making games, you'd be excited for diversity. Yeah, we can make money churning out shite. But as a gamer, that doesn't excite me one bit. I care about what is there, not what you've avoided putting in because it might upset me. If you are going to go out of your way to hire people with different viewpoints, I would hope for games with more stuff that might bother me. But this way, diversity is just a money-saving technique. It means you don't have to pay someone like Kate Edwards to culturalize your game for each area, because it's so bland to begin with that no one could be upset by it. This sense of making sure games are immediately accessible to everyone sounds terrible. Something I enjoy is coming up against something that repels me, and understanding it. The challenge of getting into it is something I like. When I say diversity sounds good, I mean lots and lots of different games made by lots of different people, with the games all having completely different perspectives in terms of approach, art, story, if there is one, and gameplay. Not every game being made by everyone, completely comfortable for everyone to play. Because if a situation like that becomes the norm, there will be no diversity in games. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.